We were locked in to the game plan. I thought we were locked into the scheme, and just they're such a good offensive team, and um, we needed to try to make things more difficult for them, make them less efficient, not put them on the line too much. A really good free throw shooting team. So I'm just proud defensively of how our group it translated from what we worked on to the game, and you know we'll try and keep growing as a group.
Hey, with Caitlin Clark, she's such a talented player. She can score from a lot of places. How did you guys sort of handle the defensive assignments on her? Like you threw different bodies at her. She took some tough shots that you guys kind of kept her out of the paint till late. What was kind of the primary emphasis of how you wanted to defend her?
We just wanted to guard her within our system. So I think primarily it ended up being V and Shai that guarded her in the matchup. We do switch some things, and we always say to our team, like in transition, you pick up whoever, right? The greatest threat. So sometimes in transition, we got other people on her too. So I wouldn't say we did anything special specifically to her. Our players just knew the type of threat she was, knew her tendencies, and then just tried to do the best job that they could. And she missed some shots tonight. She normally makes. She's a really good player, but I thought her shots were challenged, and that's what we were hoping for.
Carol, these are kind of two closely related stat lines. After kind of a shaky first period, Duke started cutting down the turnovers, and Duke out-rebounded Iowa by 10. So as a result, Duke had more possessions than Iowa, had more field goal attempts and more foul shots. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, we thought the free throw battle was going to be critical just because I think they shot 86% from the line coming into the game, and well, they went 9 for 10, so they probably might be at 87 on the year. Gosh, they're really efficient at the line. We felt like if we could keep them off that line, that would give us a great opportunity. So I'm proud that our players were able to do that. And then the rebounding, we talked about it as a group. It's important that everybody does it. It's not just on our post players. They had a really hard challenge tonight to keep 25 off the glass themselves. So our guards had to come in and do that. Celeste obviously had another fantastic night on the boards as a guard to have double-digit rebounds. I thought she had some key ones in the second half to get the stop for us.
And let me ask you, if I may, about Shai Wilson. She was such a late addition to the program. She kind of slipped under a lot of people's radar. When did you know from the beginning she was going to be this good? Just talk about her importance to this team.
Well, she has played well the last couple games. I agree with you. She's somebody that has a potential to be explosive offensively. She's somebody that's a two-way player. She's very strong defensively as well. You can see she guarded Clark for a lot of that second half. So we're just excited that she keeps growing, that she keeps showing progress, and all of our players, we have a lot to work on with all of them, but they all show the ability to take coaching, try to do what we're asking them to do, and then put it out there on the floor. So yes, for Shai to come in as a freshman and her first game against a ranked team to play well, not just play okay, but to play well, she should take a lot of confidence from this game.
I was wondering what in the game plan led to Voelker's minutes tonight?
Well, I think Lee is a really solid defensive player, and she does a good job of carrying out our scheme of what we want. Lee also has that size and the strength. When you look at Iowa's players, they have some experienced players, wings with size and great strength, and they like to drive hard to the basket. I thought she made some really couple good defensive plays in the first half where they tried to drive right out or right at her. I think she got like a strip or two. She got a couple steals. So those are things that we've seen from Lee through the course of our practices, and felt like defensively that it would be a good fit for her out there against this matchup.
Speaking of that defense, how did, how did limiting sort of the position or what Monica Stana was able to do in the post, at least relative to normal, how did that help you focus on the perimeter defense?
Well, we just really we try to focus on everybody, knowing that the lion's share of the possessions is going to be through 22 and 25. And that's just what their stats say. So we wanted to battle. We didn't want to have to bring extra help to people because everyone else in our team shoots it so well. All of a sudden you bring extra help, and now all of a sudden everybody's hitting threes. They're such an explosive team. So we really just challenged all of our players. We said, guard your player one-on-one. Don't need help tonight. And if you don't need help tonight, then we felt like we had a chance to compete with them.
Gotcha. And then just wanted to ask, looked like you started the game going under on a lot of the ball screens, switched to over somewhat quickly. There were a lot of hard denials. On Clark, I was wondering if there was just what keys went into which one you used on a given play.
Sometimes they do things that are not what I want them to do. So sometimes if it looks like there's a diversity of scheme, it's really just operating on some other thing. So.
When Shai and Celeste were in here earlier, they did not strike me as two players who just upset a top 10 team. They talked like two players who expected to win, and they seem very calm and focused and kind of businesslike. There's a lot of new faces on this team, as we've talked about before. How have you kind of fostered this sort of expectation and this focus like so quickly? How they just expect to beat these teams already?
Well, I can't really take a ton of credit for that. These are competitive young women that have a standard for themselves individually. Like, if you think about it, before you can create a standard for people, like there has to be an individual accountability and an individual work ethic and an individual competitiveness. Like, I can't give them all of those things, right? Otherwise, I'm trying to give everybody that every day, and it doesn't work. So there has to be something, a foundation that they have. And so our team has that. Those two specifically have that. They believe in themselves. They want to compete. They want to be good, and they want to play in the team framework. And so our expectation is to compete with everybody that we play. That's the expectation. I don't know that we'll beat everybody we play, but the expectation is to compete. And so that's just our program. That's what it's always going to be. When we go into a game, we expect to compete. And I think that's just who we are. And we've got to keep growing. We're not perfect. We have a lot to work on. But they believe. And that's the best thing I can say about my team is they believe in themselves. They believe in each other. They believe in me as a coach. And I believe in them. And so if you have that, then you're going to have a chance to grow together, and you're going to have a chance to compete in the games that you play.
Iowa was up 8-2 early on in the beginning of the match. With around 7 minutes left to play, Duke managed to score 5 points and turn around the trajectory of who led the game. What do you think happened to cause such a great change in momentum for Duke and in those few moments?
Well, have you ever seen 2 layups missed in one possession, wide open? I mean, holy cow. I think we were just really excited in the first couple minutes, I'll be honest with you. I think we were just really excited about the game and played just a little bit frantic. And credit Iowa, they took advantage and they weren't frantic at all, and they just started scoring on us. So I think what changed for us is we got a little more settled and started to be more composed. And when we did that, the ball started to go through, and our defense started to frustrate them, I think, a little bit. But, yeah, I was a little worried there after we missed 2 wide open layups on the same possession.
For you, it's been you haven't had many chances like this with the crowd here and beating a ranked team since you've been a head coach. Was there a special feeling for you other than obviously the win itself about the significance of having this kind of starting moment early in your tenure?
Well, I'm certainly thankful for the fans that came out and the support of the Duke community. That's been consistent since I've been here. Obviously, we didn't have fans in the stands last year, and we have a lot of new players. And I said this at the start of the year. Our community is going to fall in love with our team. And as the games go on, I think you're going to see more and more people coming to the games, because how can you not love the way this group plays together, the combination of athleticism and skill, how dedicated they are to the defensive end. So I don't worry about, like, if we didn't win this, would we not have fans or anything like that. I just feel like when you are competitive, I think what fans appreciate and what people appreciate are teams that compete and compete together. And I think if we continue to do that, then we'll have a lot of people that will enjoy coming to watch us play.
The Hawkeyes struggled a lot in the final few minutes of the game and registered 10 fouls across the fourth quarter. What do you think allowed Duke to finish off the game, and why do you think that these fouls kept on occurring?
Yeah, so I don't want to speak for Coach Bluter, but strategically I think she was just trying to extend the game. And, seeing as how we went 10 for 25 in the previous game from the free throw line, I think she was just trying to elongate the game and hope that we miss free throws and try and get quick strikes on the offensive end, which they did a few times. We just told our players, stay composed, get to the free throw line and make shots. So I think as it got into the last couple minutes, that's what they were doing. They were just going to foul on every possession and hope that we miss enough that they could get back in it. I was proud that we stepped up and were able to make free throws to keep that separation. All right, thank you.